What do Philodendron erubescens seeds look like? Philodendron erubescens seeds are quite small and typically brown or black in color. I remember when I first saw them, they reminded me of tiny pebbles or coarse sand. They're usually encased in a fleshy fruit, which needs to be cleaned off before planting. It's a bit of a meticulous process since the seeds are so tiny, but it's fascinating to think about the potential each one holds to grow into a beautiful, vibrant plant. I haven't grown a Philodendron erubescens from seed yet, but just knowing what they look like and how to handle them has made me even more curious about trying it out one day. How to care for Philodendron erubescens. Here's a guide to keep your Philodendron erubescens thriving indoors. Light. Bright indirect light is key. Philodendron erubescens prefers bright indirect sunlight. This encourages healthy growth and maintains the vibrant foliage color. Avoid direct sunlight, as it can scorch the leaves. East-facing windows are ideal for providing sufficient light without harsh sun exposure. Watering. Water when soil dries out. Avoid overwatering, which is detrimental to Philodendron erubescens. Allow the top inch of soil to dry completely before watering thoroughly. Excess moisture can lead to root rot. Signs of thirst. Wilting leaves are a telltale sign that your plant needs water. Soil. Well draining is essential. Use a well-draining potting mix that allows excess water to drain freely. A good quality aeroid mix or a mixture of potting soil with perlite or orchid bark will work well. Fertilizing. Moderate feeder. Philodendron erubescens doesn't require frequent feeding. A diluted dose of balanced fertilizer once a month during the growing season, spring and summer, is sufficient. Avoid over-fertilizing as it can damage the roots. Humidity. Enjoys moderate humidity. While Philodendron erubescens can tolerate average household humidity levels, it thrives in moderately humid environments. Here are some ways to increase humidity. Grouping plants together. Clustering plants creates a microclimate with higher humidity. Pebble tray. Place your pot on a tray filled with pebbles and water. As the water evaporates, it increases humidity around the plant. Avoid letting the pot sit directly in water. Humidifier. Consider using a humidifier to increase overall humidity levels in your home, especially during dry winter months. Temperature. Warm temperatures preferred. Philodendron erubescens prefers warm temperatures between 65 degrees Fahrenheit and 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 to 27 degrees Celsius. Avoid exposing it to cold drafts or temperatures below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 degrees Celsius. Support and climbing. Provide support. Optional in their natural habitat, Philodendron erubescens are climbing plants. While not strictly necessary indoors, providing a moss pole or trellis can encourage climbing growth and create a more natural, vining appearance. Pruning. Maintain shape and size. Pruning is not essential, but can be done to control size and shape or remove leggy stems. You can simply cut back unwanted stems using sharp pruners or shears. Pruning can also encourage bushier growth. Propagation. Stem cuttings. Philodendron erubescens can be propagated by stem cuttings. Take a healthy stem tip with a few nodes and leaves, dip the cut end in rooting hormone, optional, and plant it in a well-draining potting mix. Maintain consistent moisture and warmth for successful propagation. Pests and diseases. Generally resistant. Philodendron erubescens is generally resistant to pests and diseases. However, watch for common houseplant problems like mealybugs, scale insects, or spider mites. You can treat them with insecticidal soap or neem oil if necessary. Additional tips. Cleaning leaves. You can occasionally wipe the leaves with a damp cloth to remove dust and maintain their shine. Avoid using leaf shine products. Repotting. Repot your Philodendron erubescens every 1 to 2 years or when the plant outgrows its current pot. How to propagate Philodendron erubescens. When I propagated my Philodendron erubescens, I found the best way was through stem cuttings. I chose a healthy, mature plant and snipped off a few stems just below a node, making sure each cutting had a couple of leaves and aerial roots. I dipped the cut ends in rooting hormone and then placed them in a jar of water, changing the water every few days to keep it fresh. Within a few weeks, roots started to form. Once the roots were about an inch long, I transplanted the cuttings into pots filled with a well-draining soil mix. I kept the soil moist but not waterlogged and placed the pots in a warm, bright spot with indirect sunlight. It was exciting to see new growth emerging, knowing I had successfully created new plants for my favorite philodendron.